na enye tutasemea tu na bazalendo bandugu yetu, tuko na bambia bakuye report barudishe ile masila. Kama benye banapenda kuingia kujeshi tutawaonesha kijeshi, benye banapenda kuwa civilian tutabademobilize. Hakuna shida, baacha tu kusikia maneno ya Tshisekedi niko bambia, sio banakamata hii ma Western Union pesa banabatumia pale, banakuya banapatia bandugu zetu, banalewa kidogo, banavuta kabangi, banakuwa banachapa makelele.
Well, in what seems to be retaliatory attacks against the Wazalendos in South Kivu by the M23, the M23 has gone ahead to retake towns and villages that were previously held by the Wazalendos. Immense reinforcement has been seen in South Kivu that I'm going to tell you about how the M23 planned that attack, where they came from, and how they attacked the Wazalendos to retake these strategic towns in South Kivu, as well as there are reports that the Wazalendos held the Kavumu airport for quite some time, a few hours, but the M23 repelled the Wazalendos at that time, and the M23 spokesperson went to the airport to give an affirmation to the public of the control of the M23 on the Kavumu airport. I'm going to tell you about what the spokesperson of the M23 said about the Wazalendos and how they are facilitated, as well as their allegation that they are under drug influence from Kinshasa. Well, this is bona fide. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit that notification button so that when I release something new on the Eastern DRC crisis, you get notified as soon as possible. The M23 has retaliated against the Wazalendos after a weekend of attacks, sustaining attacks in Goma and South Kivu in Kavumu, when the Wazalendos attacked the M23 in surprise attacks in different fronts. According to a report, the M23 recaptured 4 towns in the territories of Kalehe and Kabare, South Kivu on Tuesday, April 15, 2025, after violent clashes with Wazalendo fighters allied with the FARDC. And this is coming at a time when the Wazalendos were fiercely attacking the M23 on different fronts. The M23 asked for reinforcement from different parts of where they are controlling the territories. And we could see photos of the M23 like this one coming in from all fronts to go and support their peers in South Kivu. As the report went on to denote, the M23 reinforcement arrived via Lake Kivu from North Kivu and by road from Bukavu and Kavumu, where clashes had taken place the previous weekend. The redeployment follows Wazalendo's temporary recapture of Kavumu Airport on April 13th, part of an ongoing escalation despite the negotiations in Doha. Well, for quite some time, we've not been talking about the M23 gaining territory or capturing or recapturing new territories in different places in Eastern DRC. But right now, we are starting to get reports of the M23 now retaking territories that they previously controlled and they let go or they were fought in those areas. Right now, we are seeing that the M23 is starting to retake territories again. And we know that they've been eyeing, southwards they've been eyeing Uvira, and northwards they have been eyeing Kisangani from Walikale all through. Right now, the M23 is not in Walikale. They say they reposition their forces. They are not in Walikale, but they are almost at Walikale. And they say that they will want to go to Kisangani, and southwards they want to go to Uvira all the way to Katanga. And this is now the trajectory that we are seeing the M23 taking in these new flare-ups that are continuing in Eastern DRC. Well, the Wazalendos are putting up a fight against the M23 on different fronts, and they are coming out as the fierce force that is fighting the M23. And the FARDC is not even in the picture right now because we are talking about the Wazalendos coming in full force against the M23. And the M23 is now responding against the Wazalendos. The Wazalendos are not government army. These are militia. They are militias who have come together under the name Wazalendo, meaning patriot in Swahili. They have come together to fight the M23. They are working together with FARDC, but they have their own chain of command that they follow. And now they are fighting the M23 in Eastern DRC on different fronts to try to retake these territories that are controlled by the M23. And this Kavumu airport that you see on your screen right now has been synonymous to the advancement of the M23 southwards in South Kivu. This is the place where the M23 took photos the first time that they went to Kavumu. They took over Kavumu and they went southwards to South Kivu to take more territories and to assert their dominance in South Kivu. This particular place, the Kavumu airport, the picture that you're seeing right now, is the one that has been emblematic of M23's foothold in South Kivu. And this is the place where now the Wazalendos had gone and retaken for a few hours. It is a prize now when you're talking about who is in control in South Kivu. And the M23 have been fighting to maintain their foothold in Kavumu, and specifically the Kavumu airport. And this is what now led the M23 spokesperson, Lawrence Kanyuka, to visit the area with media and give a statement on what is happening in Kavumu, what is happening in South Kivu. And here is Lawrence Kanyuka saying exactly why the Wazalendos were there and how the Kinshasa government is supporting the Wazalendos to fight the M23 in Eastern DRC. Take a listen.
Tutaenda kule ku monument, tutaonesha tuko na ba document. Document yenyewe inatokea na Western Union. Sasa Tshisekedi yatuma pesa Western Union napatia Kinshasa, binakuya Bujumbura, pale Burundi banazibeba Uvira. Sasa unaona bafazi yote mamenasi iko nakuya. Iko natokea Uvira na bafazi nyingine. So banakamata hii ma Western Union pesa banabatumia pale, banakuya banapatia bandugu zetu, banalewa kidogo, banavuta kabangi, banakuwa banachapa makelele.
Well, according to that statement that you've just heard of the spokesperson of the M23, Lawrence Kanyuka, he says that Tshisekedi sent some dollars to Wazalendo through Western Union from Kinshasa to Bujumbura, and then this now is passed over Lake Tanganyika to Uvira, and thereafter the Wazalendo went to buy alcohol and smoked. Then they started causing insecurity at the airport in Kavumu. That is the statement from Lawrence Kanyuka, the M23 spokesperson, saying that Kinshasa is involved actively in what is happening in South Kivu, that Kinshasa is the one that is giving orders to the Wazalendos. They receive the money from Kinshasa to Bujumbura, then to Uvira, and that now gives M23 a reason perhaps for them to start advancing towards Uvira. We've seen quite a lot of statements from different heads of M23, the leaders of M23, coming out to say that they want to retake Uvira. They want to have a control over Uvira. And Uvira has been the prize in South Kivu more than even the Kavumu airport, because Uvira is just overlooking Bujumbura. And you know that Burundi is assisting the Wazalendo and FARDC. They are in a coalition. They are fighting the M23. And of course, there are those rumors of Rwanda backing the M23 as well. So capturing Uvira, according to the M23, will be very strategic, because they will be blocking the Burundian defense forces from going into Eastern DRC and then fighting them in South Kivu. So this is the reason as to why the M23 has been very, very particular in capturing Uvira. They've been saying that for them to protect the people in Minembwe, they have to capture Uvira. Perhaps that is the reason. Perhaps there are other reasons as to why they will want to capture Uvira. But what we know is that the M23 has been for a very long time eyeing Uvira. They've wanted to capture Uvira. And perhaps Lawrence Kanyuka is just giving a reason for the M23 to start advancing to Uvira, for them to say that now they're going to block the monies from Kinshasa coming in from Bujumbura to Uvira, and that perhaps could give them a reason to go to advance to Uvira. But we know that the Wazalendos caused serious chaos in South Kivu. They went as much as to take over the Kavumu airport. That is something that the M23 did not want. They mobilized reinforcements from even North Kivu, and they went to repel that particular attack by the Wazalendos, and now they have recaptured towns that they previously controlled. Then the Wazalendo took over those towns, and now the M23 has recaptured those towns, and now they are under the authority of the M23 following that attack that the Wazalendos waged against the M23 in South Kivu. Well, I will continue to keep you updated of the latest of what is happening in Eastern DRC. Keep it bona fide.